Hi guys, and welcome to another NECP performance podcast. I am joined by Charlotte. How are we doing, Charlotte?
Hello, Steve. I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good.
And we are also joined by Mr. Simon Trenholm. How are we doing, Si?
I'm really good. Good to hear you guys are good.
Yeah, that's it. We're living the dream, mate. We're living the dream. We're all excited because the news is broke. Finally, that we've been waiting for. That gyms are going to be opening from the 25th. Again, on a Saturday. What is it about a Saturday? Why open things on a Saturday? I really don't get it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
It's nuts, isn't it?
You know, the logic, it defies logic, but there you go. But
There'll be some reason in government for this. There will be some bizarre reason that we'll never know about.
Well, it must be a stress test. Let's make it as difficult and as chaotic as possible. Let's get the worst case scenario out of the way at first, and then let's see what happens. Must be it. But
the MPs have got FOMO because they're busy through the day, through the week. They can't get out to the gym.
Yeah,
and they're only free on a Saturday.
That's it. So right, guys, what was your reaction when you heard the news then? Because I know, Si, you were watching it live, and Charlotte, I don't know where you were when you heard the news. So what was your reaction, guys, when you first heard that news?
Go, Si.
I mean, for me, it was, as you know, most of my training's over here and in the garden. So that side of things isn't going to change massively for me unless, as I've just had a PT session in the rain. It's going to mean that I can get back inside if it rains, but I think a lot of my one-to-one clients are going to want to keep training outside. They're loving it. But for me, it's just I can't wait to get back to seeing and coaching the kids and just the sort of the feel that you don't get, the energy that, you know, they feed off each other, you feed off them. That's, as we've said all along, kind of that's what I've missed. And so I really can't wait to get back in front of the kids and just, get them strong, see how they're moving. Because again, you get a feeling on Zoom how somebody's moving, but you can't, you can't really see it. And for the kids, it's so important. It really is so important, that quality of movement. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No, me and all. I think I was between clients, between outdoors training sessions yesterday, and I think we were kind of half expecting it, weren't we? So yeah, I think very much like Simon said, I'm really looking forward to having that face-to-face contact. I mean, I have been having it, as we all have in the groups outside, and obviously a couple of my one-to-one clients as well. So it's just going to have that flexibility, not getting wet. I've had wet feet for the past 4 weeks. So yeah, not having to rely on the weather, I think. And like you said, just, it's a completely different dynamic, isn't it? It's that flat screen that we've been talking to the last goodness knows how long, the last 4 months, and not getting that feedback. And I think more than anything else as well, my clients are so relieved. They've all been desperate to get back into the gym, and so I'm really happy for them, because it's that sense of normality for people. I think it's a kind of tinge of apprehension as well for me, a little bit, because we don't know what it's going to look like really. So I suppose I'm very excited, but at the same time just tinged with a little bit of like, okay, what's this going to look like and how is it going to pan out?
And you can guarantee the weather is going to change. That Saturday morning, it's going to be absolutely glorious weather outside. Everybody's going to be scratching their head, going, well, do I really want to go inside? Or do I want to go and run around the park for a bit?
Well, I was saying as well too, we've been training, because I've been doing some small group training sessions at the old golf course, and we've all been training to the sound of birds and the distant noise of the A1. I was like, I'm going to have to change my playlist.
Let's say we've got to get birdsong for the gym now.
They'll all be wanting whale music and birdsong to deadlift to.
How wet has it been? What do you mean whale music? How wet has it been where you're training?
Well, Zach.
That's just annoyed some of the clients, mate,
Yeah.
towards the end of the session, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good news though. It's really good news.
Yeah, it's good to start seeing the leisure industry started to open up and stuff as well. I think the government's had a difficult job because the leisure industry is so complex and it's so varied right across the board, from your leisure centres right the way through to your independent PT studios, to your dance instructors, your martial arts instructors, and everybody in between. It's such a diverse industry. But I think that's what kind of makes it cool, isn't it? You know, there's so much out there. I think it's got to be, like I say, similar to yourself, Charlotte, it's got to be good to get back face to face. And again, you know, a lot of my guys train 5, 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's quite difficult to do that. You can't really do that at home without waking up the house. There's got to be times when you don't want to go outside and do that. It takes a very special person to be motivated to get up at 5 and do it outside, or go for a run, or whatever it may be, or do it in the back garden. So I'm looking forward to getting them guys back in and catering to that. But again, what does it look like? I read through that the guidance, and I'm like, man, this is like just so, it's got to be so surreal. And I think that's got to be a wake-up call for a lot of people is, listen, gyms are open, but just remember, it's not the gym as what you remember it, that is opening back up. It is just not. So don't expect it to be the same as what it was when you came back. I mean, we've just been chatting through the measures there, and we're going to have to sort of jump through hoops and really be really careful. Do you know what I mean? For people's safety and our safety.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think I want to make sure our members are safe. But at the end of the day, if I'm at risk, then if I go downhill, then I'm training no one. Do you know what I mean? I'm helping no one, and I've got a young daughter at home, and I've got a partner at home, and the last thing you'd want to do is feel like you've brought some at home and passed it on to them. Do you know? Because they might not rebound so well from it if we do. Do you know?
Yeah, that's it.
I think one thing I was going to say, I think one thing about the gym is it's going to be easier to clean. It's not like we've got a lot of machines, a lot of big stack machines, where actually getting into cleanos, it's not going to be easy. You know, it's a lot easier to do a much more effective clean on a rack and a bar, on kettlebells, and you know, I do think certainly we're at an advantage there.
Yeah.
You know, just because, as I say, you can make sure that you can get a proper clean in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like you sort of go, you know, David Lloyd's or Bannatynes or wherever, and you've got a room full of machines and every other one's taped off, and then you know you're sort of concerned about, well, has the pin been cleaned? I know the handles will have been cleaned, but then you know somebody, you know, there's just all sorts of nooks and crannies, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I think, and that comes on to the sort of the next point in terms of how are you going to train when you get back into the gym. I think a lot of people will want to sort of go back to original programs and getting the bars on the back and deadlifting it off the floor again and stuff like that. And I think for a lot of people, slow your roll, just chill out a little bit, you know, just give yourself that little bit of exposure. I know we will just be giving gentle exposure to guys, but at the end of the day, you don't need back squats to lose weight or to look good naked. Do you know what I mean? You don't need heavy old deadlifts to get the same sort of results. So we're not going to be rushing back into that. The main thing about getting the gyms back open is one, just getting the energy and the environment back into it again, because the training is still going to be very similar to if you have minimal kit, because it's going to have to be.
Yeah. I think as well, you know, it's about a lot of people who haven't trained with any kit for the last 4 months. Yeah, like you say, the last thing you want to go and do is, you know, stick a bar on your back and squat out, you know, your body weight again. It's just, you don't want yourself up to an injury, aren't you?
Yeah. So
it is going to be kind of back to basics, isn't it? In a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, like I say, I think the main thing is again just highlighting the importance of environment and stuff as well. So, but just erring on the side of caution for a lot of people of just making sure that just when you go back to the gym, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit surreal and stuff like that. But just go with it, and then the restrictions should start to lift and normality will resume, kind of things,
Yeah. It's baby steps, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's going to be like your training, it's just kind of gradually easing back into it, and we'll be just gradually easing back into this environment. And and we've created, well, you, as a royal we, I've painted a wall. You've created, I like to do that. Yeah. You've created, a brilliant space there as well, so it's almost like a bit of a fresh start, isn't it, going back in?
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully people will appreciate the work, but also enjoy the work and the new space that's been created and the new atmosphere and the new environment that we can try to create in that space. Hopefully people will enjoy it, and it'll be a nice little shake up for them. But one thing that I want to know, guys, is obviously we know last weekend the pubs opened up, didn't it? And there was a few bars that opened up and then got shut down by the police because everybody just were like feral kids, weren't there, and just went absolutely mental and got drunk. And then there was that landlord who was found drunk on his premises and wasn't socially distanced. What do you think the gym equivalent of that? Do you reckon it's going to be like just somebody in a squat rack, just sweating everywhere, just like hyperventilating on a rower and like no social distance? What do you reckon is going to be the gym equivalent of that scenario?
It's going to be interesting to see whether you get like just a whole crowd of people just flocking in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got visions in my head of like scrambling for the dumbbells.
That's it.
International chest day now.
That's it.
Won't be tired anybody curling in the squat rack. Yeah. You just imagine that, can't you?
Benches everywhere, yeah. That's like the Black Friday sales.
Exactly. But I tell you what, it is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how people respond to booking the sessions and booking the slots, not necessarily in our gym, but other gym environments, like going to a major gym and having to book in a slot just to go to do a bit of bench and buys and that kind of crowd, like,
yeah,
it's just another level, isn't it? It's another barrier for a lot of people just to go, oh, I can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? And that's going to be really interesting, that, because I think if the more steps you put in for somebody going to the gym, it's even more difficult for them, isn't it?
Yeah, that 6 p.m. slot on International Chest Day. Can you imagine the scramble for that?
Oh, there'll be people waiting at like midnight on Sunday.
Yeah,
reload.
Well, then you're going to get people who are booking in at 5 o'clock and going, oh, well, I still haven't been able to finish. And so they're wanting to overstay their work. I think it could cause.
Well, do you know,
and then it's like, do you remember when you were a kid at the baths and then they called your green number out?
Yeah.
The honesty thing.
Hey, that's
people walking around in red t-shirts going, but I haven't had my full hour.
Yeah. Well, that's honestly that's what it'll be, because I know some of the gyms, when you book in and when your hour becomes up, you get sent an email saying you now have to leave.
Right.
So if you can't do a bit of weights and then do a bit of cardio, and you're really restricted on kind of like one a day kind of sessions and stuff like that. So
I wonder if we're going to get as many gym selfies, or whether people are actually going to go to the gym to train.
Yeah.
The intensity is going to go up because they're going to want to do their normal 3-hour workout in the hour that they've got. So
you might find that more of the kind of group exercise kind of number, you might see them creep up a little bit more because people will know they've got, in a controlled environment, they might just say, right, I'll just book in for a group exercise session in the big gyms instead, where they're guaranteed that they'll have the station, they'll have their equipment, and they'll have a managed session. You know, depend, because I know they'll still be going ahead, but just with reduced numbers as well. So
got a fly in the room. Sorry. I wasn't shooing your comment away there, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Shut up, woman. Talk about. Yeah, but I think all of the group exercise sessions, that's what they've really targeted. If looking at the policies and the guidance, it's kind of, those are the ones where they've just sort of said, right, try and reduce the time down in those sessions, definitely no more than an hour. You have to have a deep clean after every single one of those sessions. The ventilations, you can't have air conditioning units that recycle the air. You know, that's going to be really interesting to see how people react there. Do you know what I mean? Really is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of this whole, the reverse, isn't it, of what we've just come out of. And it's now kind of that, you know, we've come out of a really strict lockdown, easing out of that, now easing into another very strict environment again to adapt to. But I think, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but all it's going to do is, I think it's going to speed up people getting back into the hectic lifestyle a lot quicker. If you think about lockdown was just forced people to go, just take your foot off the gas, relax, have some appreciation for it. But it's kind of like, right, okay, well, you can only be in a bar or a restaurant for an hour, and then they've got to try and get rid of you. You can only be in the gym for an hour. You have to book it. You have to do this. You have to allocate time slots. You have to have your deep clean. So then everybody's sort of day is then going to go back to being this 100-mile-an-hour, precise, rigid time where they're going to go, right, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? And whatever else, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see how people react to that. Do you know? Maybe it'll add that bit of structure. And like Simon says, actually, you might work hard enough in the gym to see some bloody results rather than do one set of bench press and then chat to Terry, your mate, for 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but...
Yeah, as well, people will have to focus. It might, hopefully, it'll ensure that people then have to focus on the downtime and you know, the stuff that they're doing when they're away from that structure, and making sure that they're getting out in fresh air, and, you know, the stuff that we've been harping on about and saying, right, okay, part of your recovery from these sessions, you can, you know, you might go for a run, you might spend time with your family, but it might, hopefully, it'll kind of enable people to see the value in that side of things as well, because they'll need a break from that rigidity.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Easy for you to say.
I hadn't just gone on slow-mo then. I was
unstable connection.
That's it. You can get away with it on Zoom, can't you?
I know, yeah.
I have an unstable connection between my brain and my mouth at the minute.
Yeah, that's more like it, Sam.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, my brain needs to wind down. I think I need a holiday.
Yeah. That's it. So, like I say...
Yeah, you'd be all right going to Spain, but not Slovakia.
Well, I think it's certainly going to be interesting times, and I think a lot of people are really excited by it. But I think it's like anything, isn't it? Just trying to approach it in a logical way and stuff like that. But I think hopefully the appreciation for the gyms, the coaches realizing what you've got on your doorstep and stuff like that as well is going to be a crucial one, kind of things, you know. So certainly interesting times ahead, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, you know,
in the right direction. I was going to say, just like a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Charlotte, we can lose these lockdown bellies, can't we? These lockdown tummies and that, can't we?
Did you see my rant?
Yes. Twice.
Oh no. Lockdown bellies and what was, oh yeah, so it was a double rant, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the lockdown bellies, it was the meal replacement.
Well, the Daily Mail have just had, the 9 best exercises, and they sent me on email the 9 best exercises to get rid of your lockdown belly, and the 9 best supplements to, I think it would boost your immunity.
Oh, what?
So I'm not going to start ranting. We haven't got time for that. But yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, just crazy. Everyone's been stressed out, so let's just stress you out a little bit more.
Go.
Yeah. Then let's sell you with a £3 meal replacement shake for you. That's your magic pill. So I said, vegetables don't sell, do they? It's not sexy. Don't get me started.
No. If they don't sell them, do they? If you walked into Lidl or Aldi all through lockdown, the one thing they're not being short of.
Yeah, but all the flour.
Oh yeah, no flour, no pasta, no baked beans.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I think it goes to highlight the marketing, and they just target those insecurities, and they target those people that want that kind of messaging who will receive it, but like we said a couple of weeks back, Charlotte, I think you mentioned it, and saying it actually makes you think, oh yeah, maybe I do. I have been in lockdown, so maybe I do need to lose this little bit of weight, or maybe I need to do that, even if you have been doing really well and stuff like that as well, so it's easy to get swept up into it. But yeah,
pockets, haven't they, these companies, these, especially the ones which are selling you the meal replacements, they're multi-million-pound dollar organizations, so and they're clever people, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. I think sometimes it's kind of like there's never a product on the market that's there because people don't want it. People do want that quick fix and stuff, isn't it? So I think we've got to look at those companies and just go, are they doing the right thing? Is it ethical? But we're also going to look at it and just say, guys, like, how many times do you need to be known? Time to wake up. Drinking fat burner tea is not where
on the backside isn't going to burn any fat.
It's not where you need to spend your money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I saw a post on, sorry to interject, I saw a post on Facebook the other day of one of the reps, I think it was, of one of the meal replacement shake companies, a large one, starts in H and ends in Herbalife. 4 meals. The first meal of the day was a shake, and then 4 meals of real food, and then the sort of tagline of it's not all a shake diet. And I'm sort of sitting there scratching my head going, well, why don't you get rid of the shake and have some food for breakfast and then have 4 other meals of food as well? Why do you need this? And that looks to be another, I've seen that a couple of times now from them, and it looks to be another marketing ploy. And you're just thinking, well, why do you need that shake? But as you say, it's all about the marketing ploy, and it's all about kidding people that this is what they need because they've got deep enough pockets. Yeah. It's like 6 months ago, everything was protein. You could get protein bloody cornflakes, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. So I think if you look at it, and obviously just to play devil's advocate, because I do believe you've got to try and look at the intermediate as well, but we are conditioned to have a mega busy life, aren't we? So they're offering a solution of one thing that people feel that they don't have, and that is time. Do you know? So their way around it is, I'm not going to sell you. Time management doesn't exist. I agree. I heard this statement many a time. Time management doesn't exist because it's not. You can't manage time. You get 24 hours. You get a second. The sun goes up. The sun goes down. You need to speak. You need to speak to somebody greater than me if you want to try and fix that. Do you know what I mean? But you can manage yourself. And as we know, it's very easy, it's very difficult for people to go, so where am I rubbish at? What am I rubbish at doing? And then it's like, how do I want to fix that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, right, okay, shall I wake up half an hour? Should I cook my meals before to structure it for the day? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I shop differently? Or could I get something that tastes like a vanilla milkshake that has all of my vitamins in for the day, and I can make it so I can still sit in bed for half an hour scrolling through Facebook and then rushing around like a lunatic, and I can grab this shake on the go. Do you know? So it's one of them, isn't it? Do you know? And they're very clever the way they do it, because at the end of the day, people who skip their breakfast are more likely to gain weight and put on weight if they're on a diet or have higher levels of body fat.
Yeah.
You know, according to certain studies, there are a high amount of protein meals, which we do know higher levels of protein does increase satiety, and it is a good way of burning fat. So they just pick the little bits there and they just plug it in. But it's very much about the reason why sometimes these things don't work is because you're building a house on sand, do you know, unless you work on your foundation of yourself and learning to manage yourself.
Yeah.
When it gets tough, the wheels will come off and you'll go back to it, and you end up in that cycle.
Yeah, it's just another form of yo-yo dieting, isn't it?
Absolutely. And look at the guy behind Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
He was like, why would we have a business model that was based on success?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a stupid business model. I'm like, what? It's like, why would we have a business model that catered for that? We want people to fail because we want them to come back.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I remember seeing him saying that and thinking, wow, yeah.
I know. It was so brazen. It wasn't like he said it with he didn't break it. His face didn't break.
No.
And it was like, but because it was an obvious question, do you know what I mean? And it was like, but why would we do that? Yeah, that's not a good business model.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Slim
like
Fast as well. Slim Fast is the same.
Yeah, that's it. It's crazy, but ultimately that's where the education comes in. But I think there's going to be a lot more stuff on people managing themselves and understanding where these deep-rooted issues come from, with either body issues or weight issues or confidence issues and stuff. Where do they come from? Do you know? Because they are deep-rooted things. There's been, and the thing is as coaches, sometimes we're not even equipped with that. Do you know? Like, I'm sure you guys have had it, possibly not, when you've had a client sort of drop some information to you and you go, wow, that's scratching a scab that I don't really want to see what's underneath here, because that is way above, and you're just like, what do I do with that? Yeah. So then you spend your time trying to bridge the gap and getting the qualifications just to handle the emotional side of it. And the deeper you go, you're going down a rabbit hole of going, oh, I really wish it was about sets and reps.
Yeah.
Why don't people just want to come and just lift weight and go home? You know? Why isn't it as easy as that? That's what they told me in the brochure. I'd make I'd make six figure salary a year. I'd be training celebrities, and you just get people doing stuff that you want to do.
With the diets.
Instead, I've got people breaking down in mid-session saying, I just hate my life, and I'm not happy, and this happened to me. I'm like, whoa, you know?
I didn't sign up for this.
That's it, you know? It's just like, what the hell's happened here, you know? Being sold a false promise, but yeah, as we've said many times.
At least the sessions are only going to be an hour long now.
No, 45 minutes now, mate. Only 45 minutes. I tell you what, naming no names, there's going to be some of my clients, I'll probably get one set out of them, and I'll be like, the ones that finish talking, I'll be like, oh,
time to go.
I just finished the warm-up. 45 minutes or so you can have.
That's my 5 in 5.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, warm up next time, warm up at home.
Yeah, that's it.
Imagine you go at the swimming pool.
The problem is if the warm up at home, you take their temperature and you go, temperature's too high, you can't come in, mate. The amount of people we're going to be reporting to track and trace. Got a high temperature. I ran to the gym, I promise. You know, but
I think you can tell how much we're looking forward to it, can't you? Because we're totally giddy here.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's going to be nice getting that interaction, and I think that level of coaching. I'm getting sick of trying to coach people over a Facebook message or a WhatsApp or a Zoom or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Is it just me, or is when people like you're trying to get information, it's just so much harder to get stuff out of Zoom calls, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Like properly monosyllabic.
Oh, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I'm looking forward again that human interaction, but getting that group environment going in four walls. I've enjoyed doing outdoor stuff, and it is nice to get outdoors and do exercising outdoors and stuff like that. But I think sometimes just a controlled environment like a gym, there's just nothing that can really replicate it, you know. So
absolutely. No, really
awesome
looking forward
stuff.
to it.
Yeah, that's it. So guys, really looking forward to seeing you in there. It's going to be strange, really is going to be strange. But like I said, the key takeaways from this one, I think we've sort of nailed it, is manage your own expectations. What is the gym going to look like when you come back in? And when you go back training, if you're not training with one of us or within our groups or within our setting, just be sensible in your approach to how you go back to doing stuff, you know, because it can be just a one-way ticket to sort of injury and stuff. Just go back to basics, get a really simple program that allows you just to monitor that progress. A good one that I recommend is just adding a rep a week. Start off with a weight that kind of feels like challenging enough. Start at 6 and just add a rep a week on all of those. Just 3 sets. Start at 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 7, all the way up to 12, and just go through and master the movements again. You know, you'll get results. You'll get strong. You'll look better. You'll build muscle, and just go for it that way. Cool.
Good stuff.
Right, guys. Is anybody going to finish off with a quote? Oh no! I've got one here, and I put it on social media the other day, and it got quite interesting.
Oh yes.
It really did. So I'm gonna finish it. I mean, we can have a little 2-minute discussion on it. But it's mankind likes to think in terms of extreme opposites. It is given to formulating its beliefs in terms of either or ors, between which it recognizes no intermediate possibilities. So basically, people think in black and white. They've got to be extreme in the way they think. It's either one side of the scale, and there's no middle ground for that little bit of intermediate. That's the way people react. So it's quite interesting. So thinking about, apply that to the situation with the news that's just come about. Gyms are opening. It's either going to be, it's too soon, or it's going to be that, oh, I can't wait to get in. Come on, yeah. You know, in that intermediate a little bit. Is it too soon? Is it not? And stuff like that. Try and find that middle ground. So a little bit of a deep one there, philosophical.
Yeah. Had a few responses, that one as well, didn't it?
It did. Apparently, it was a cover-up for accepting white supremacy, which was quite interesting. Don't know how I ended up there, but it did. But yeah, I think it just reminded me of another quote of all thoughts aren't independent of that person's current situation. So that adds another level to it, doesn't it? You know, people will read stuff and apply it to the situation they're in at the moment. So there you go. Right, guys.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Right, awesome one, guys. Right, I will catch up next time, guys. Been awesome, and hope you tune on for another episode, guys. See you later.
See you inside soon.
Bye.